Good morning, students. I think you are well and in good spirits and preparing for your examinations. Today, I am going to tell you something regarding the predicate phrase, which is the part of your grammar in class 9. So, you know, a sentence is in two parts. One is subject and other is predicate. Suppose we take a sentence, Vyasa and Valmiki were great poets. So in this sentence, poets, in this sentence is divided into two parts. One is subject, other is predicate. It's not it. This is a sentence divided into two parts. One is subject, other is predicate. So, what is predicate? Predicate is something which tells about the subject, the activities of subject, no doubt. So, then what are the things presented in predicate, or what are the elements we are going to have in a predicate? Now we want to say what are the elements? What are the elements in a predicate? First is verb, no doubt. Second is your objects. Third is complement. Fourth is urgent. If you put it in abbreviation, verb, we will say it V, object O, complement C, urgent A. So these are the four things we have in our predicate parts. So, so what are the function of these elements? So verb is a basic thing, basic. That means your core. That means without verb, the sentence is not possible. So it is a core or basic. Similarly, object is basic, essential also. You may call it basic or core or essential. Complement is also essential structure, essential item. But urgent is a optional. The fourth one is a optional item, can be dropped without making the sentence grammatical, ungrammatical. So, for example, birds fly. So this is the subject, bird, fly is the verb. So subject verb. Suppose birds fly in the sky. In the sky is the adjunct. That means birds fly is the core structure of the sentence. This is the core structure or essential item, whereas in the sky is the adjunct part. You can drop this item and the sentence is grammatical. So if you delete this fly, birds in the sky cannot be the grammatical sentence. So birds fly is the grammatical sentence. You can drop adjunct. So adjunct is used for the sake of meaning, for the sake of used for the sake of meaning. So by using adjunct, you can extend the sentence to any part. The sentence can be extended or expanded by using adjuncts. But object, complement, and verb, these are the essential structure in a grammar. It's not it. So in a predicate phrase, you will find verb, object, and complement. These are the basic or essential. And these elements, these verb and complements and objects, so they are arranged not in a haphazard manner. They are arranged in a pattern. No doubt. They are arranged in a pattern. So they are not in a haphazard manner. You cannot put it in any manner. So they are arranged in a pattern, in a way, in a grammatical structure way. We will see. So there are 6 structures. One is S and B. That means subject and verb. Second one is subject verb complement. Third one is subject verb objects. Third structure. And there is a fourth structure, that is subject verb object and also 2 objects. So that is called ditransitive. And from the beginning I want to say you that the verb is the head word in a predicate phrase. Verb is the head. And the verb decides. This one decides what type of structure we are going to have. This is the role of the properties of the verb. The verb decides what type of sentence we are going to have. For example, I found her in the kitchen. So I am saying about the role of verb. I found her in the kitchen. I found a job for her. Third sentence, I found her a honest person. I found her very honest. You see, here I found, that means the verb finds, takes 3 different properties. One is I found, subject and verb. I found a job, subject, verb, object. I found a job. I found her, complement. Subject, verb, object, complement. That means the same verb find takes 3 different dimensions. That means in a 3 way the verb is projected. You see, the verb finds. So verb is very powerful. That means head in a predicate phrase. And the verb decides what kind of sentence we are going to have. And what is a verb? What is the definition of verb? The verb is a word in a sentence which changes according to number, person, and tense. Verb is a word in a sentence which changes according to tense, person, and number. So verb is very powerful, and the verb decides what kind of thing we are going to have. So SB, SBC, SBO, SBOO, that means here the verb is transitive verb. It depends upon the verb. Here here it is intransitive, sorry. Here it is intransitive. It is intransitive. Here it is transitive. Dry transitive. Fifth is subject, verb, object, complement. And sixth type is subject, verb, object, and also verb. These are the 6 types of predicate phrase structure, and by using these 3 types, the entire gamut of English literature sentences we are going to have. All the sentences are produced, are generated by using these 6 types of structure, predicate phrase structure. So we will go one by one. We will analyze this one by one structure. The first one is subject and verb. First structure. That means the verb is here, the verb is intransitive. How? The breeze collapsed. The moon rises, suppose moon rises. The students are shouting. Birds fly, I have already given that example. Oil floats. That means subject, this is verb. The sentence is okay, oil floats. And you can extend this sentence by using urgent, which is not essential structure or the basic structure, that is optional item. Oil floats on water, like this. So on water is urgent. But oil floats, this is the basic structure. The sentence is grammatical, oil floats, is not it? Similarly, the breeze collapsed, this is subject, this is verb. Moon rises, subject, verb. Students are shouting, the students, subject, are shouting, verb, is not it? So we can have as many as sentence by using fire burns, the boat sank, like this. The stream flows, is not it? Suppose the example, the stream flows. Sentence is correct. The stream flows in a gurgling sounds, or like this. You can extend to any extent. The sentence can be expanded. But this is the core structure. Subjects and verb. So here the verb is, that is called, in traditional it is called intransitive. Intransitive verb. This is one property of verb. That means here the verb is intransitive. It don't take any objects or anything. This is the structure, the first structure. Yes. Then we will go to the next structure. Here, subject, verb, complements. Subject, verb, complements. This is another structure we are going to have. Subject, verb, complements. Here the verb is also intransitive. Intransitive. So what do you mean by complements? First we would say, what is complements? Complements is an item which is essential, which is basic, which is core, and which completes the sentence, completes the meaning of the sentence. Without this, the sentence cannot be completed. So that's why its name is complements, which complete the sentence, which completes the sentence. This is a traditional way of defining. The complement is a item which completes the sentence. For example, he is a doctor. He is a doctor. The leaves turned yellow. She looks beautiful. Sky got dark. The sky got dark. My sister is in the kitchen. Like this. You see, he is a doctor. Here, he is, of course, the subject. Is of course, the verb. What is this? A doctor. This is the complements. Without this, the sentence cannot be grammatical. He is not a sentence. It's a complete sentence. So he is a doctor. Like a doctor completes the sentence, and this is the complement. Here, the leaves turn yellow. Here it is a noun phrase, NP. So after the verb, anything can be your noun phrase or adjective phrase or prepositional phrase can be appear as complements. So here it is NP. He is a doctor. So doctor is noun phrase. The leaves turned yellow. Here is adjective. She looks beautiful. Adjective. The sky got dark is a noun. My sister in the kitchen. In the kitchen is prepositional phrase because the head is preposition. In the kitchen. Prepositional phrase. God is everywhere. Everywhere is adverb phrase is a adverb. So subject verb complement structure. So after the verb, intransitive verb, all can be possible. All things are possible. Noun phrase is possible. Adjective or adjective phrase is possible. Your prepositional phrase is also possible. And adverb or adverb phrase is all possible after the verb. Is not it? In a book, the examples are given. My brother was a teacher. She is intelligent. Ravi and Madhu are on the way. Usha is here. Swati's house is nearby. He looks tired. Silu appears silly. The man seems restless. Ram became an officer. So these are the plenty of examples are given. Sardar Patel proved an efficient administrator. Efficient administrator. Proof is the verb and administration. Administrator is a noun phrase. So subject verb complement, which is a functional level, this is a complement. Parts of speech is a noun phrase, but in a functional level it is a complement. So all phrases are possible after the verb in the case of ABC structure, which is intransitive verb. And what is the main thing of this verb? You see, this is the verb. If you judge the property of this verb is B type. This is called B type verb. All the verbs in any form, they can be replaced B type. That means he is a doctor. The leaves, you may suppose turned, in place of turn you may write are, which is a B verb. The leaves are yellow, without hampering the meaning of the sentence. That's why it is called B type verb. She looks beautiful. So here it is look. You may replace the sentence she is beautiful. She looks beautiful. She is beautiful. That means the look and is, there is no difference in meaning. This verb can be replaced. That's why all the verbs of this structure is B type. You can replace the verbs by using B, which is, are, was, and were. The B type verbs can be replaced in this structure, is not it? Okay. Then we'll go to the third structure. In third structure, subject, verb, objects. Subject, verb, objects. That means here the verb is transitive. Why it is called transitive verb? It takes an object. So what is the object? Object is a trickiest. That means it is a trickiest thing in grammar. Object. So what is the question arises to a intelligent student can ask, sir, what is the difference between complement and object, a question may arise. Subject, verb, object structure will judge the structure. So what is then we'll say what is the difference between object and complement. In subject, verb, object, which is transitive verb, so the examples are Akbar attacked Mewar. Attack. Akbar attacked Mewar. The old lady sold her house. Children like sweets. Children like sweets. So these are the example of SVO structure. This is S, this is V, this is of course O. But sometimes if a student says, sir, this is complement C, then what is object and what is complement? What is the difference? Because both objects and complements come after the verb. Now the difference between object and complement is a object can be made passive. Suppose Akbar attacked Mewar. Mewar was attacked by Akbar, the king, the Mughal king Akbar. So Mewar was attacked by Akbar. That means this is the object was transformed into a different structure that is called passive structure. Passive structure or passive construction, and Mewar become the grammatical subject of the sentence. That means object can be passivized. Object can be passivized. That means whereas complement cannot be. So suppose place he is a doctor. He is a doctor, or he went home. So these are complements. A doctor and home, they are complements, and they cannot be passivized. They cannot be passivized. You cannot make a passive structure by using a doctor and home. So this is the difference between, this is the clue to know which one is subject and which one is complement. Is not it? So here subject, verb and objects. In this structure, after the objects, after the verb, a object comes and made the structure transitive structure. The same verb is not it. The same verb can be object, a transitive can be intransitive also. You see how in English the verbs are behaves tricky in a different manner. Suppose fly, birds fly. So here fly is a intransitive verb which don't tax any objects. Object is not possible here. Don't take objects. Birds fly. Whatever the things come after the fly is urgent. Only for the meaning's sake to extend the sentence. The urgent is possible, but not objects, not complements. they are not possible. Birds fly only the basic structure, but fly in a different place. The students are, or the boys, flying kites. You see, the same verb fly behaves in this way, but in a different situation, the fly is a different structure, has a different structure. The boy is flying kites. Suppose here is the verb and this is the object. That means it belongs to SVO structure, whereas this belongs to SV structure. You see, the same verb fly behaves differently. Here it is in this way, here it is in a different way. So we have already analyzed the third structure of the predicate phrase. If we go to the next structure, subject, verb, object and objects, which is a fourth structure. Subject, verb, objects and objects. These are the basic structure, essential. We cannot drop it. You see, what are the example in subject, verb, object and verb? Here the verb is ditransitive. In traditional definition, ditransitive verb. Why it is di? That means here the verb takes two objects. My grandfather told me a story. Gandhiji's dedication gave us freedom. The teacher asked some difficult questions. You see, in this structure, my grandfather is of course the subject here. Gandhiji's dedication is subject. The teacher, of course, the subject. And if you see the predicate parts, here this is verb and me is the object. A story is another object. Give verb as one object, freedom is another object. The teacher asks some difficult questions. Here is one object, here is a different object. So this type of verb, suppose tell, give, ask, they take two verbs. That's why they are called ditransitive. You cannot drop one verb, the one object. The grandfather told me. If you hide a story, the sentence is not grammatical. So both the objects are necessary, basic, or the core structure. Belongs to core structure. So if two objects are given, one is indirect object, other is direct object. First one is indirect object, ID, IO, IO, second is DO, direct objects. If two objects are, one is indirect objects, other is direct objects. IO, second was DO. And this is IO, this is DO. This is IO, this is DO. Both the objects are, one is direct objects, other one is indirect objects. Here, both the objects can be made passivized. So in this structure, both the objects can be made passive. How? I was told a story by my grandfather. A story was told to me by my grandfather, like this. So you see, a story. Can be made passive, grammatical subject in a passive structure. That means both are objects, indirect objects and direct objects. So then a student can ask, sir, which one is the indirect object and which one is direct object? How can we know? Now the clue is, the indirect object can shift position, can be shifted by using preposition to and for. My grandfather told a story to me. The sentence is have same meaning. My grandfather told a story to me. That means me, which one is indirect object, is shifted by using the preposition to. So indirect object can be shifted. Here, is it right? Yes. So both direct and indirect objects can be made subjects in the passive structure, and indirect objects can be shifted by using the preposition to and for, is not it? So this is the structure of SVOO. And then we'll go to the next structure very quickly because the time is running. The fifth structure is subject, verb, object, complement. That means in this type of structure, the verb takes one's object and another complement. Here it is called object complement. This complement is called object complement. This is object complement. The examples are the incident made me unhappy. Suppose we call Gandhi the father of nation, father of the nation, father of the nation. We call Gandhi the father of the nation. The soft music made me sleepy. You see, the party elected Mr. Tandon. The party elected Mr. Tandon president. So here you see, in this type of structure, SVOC, subject verb object complement structure, this is the, of course, the subject, elected the verb, and Mr. Tandon is the object, and this one is complement. Suppose one student can ask, the party elected Mr. Tandon. The sentence is not grammatical. If you delete this one, the party elected Mr. Tandon, what do you mean by this? Ungrammatical. So this is the core structure, is not it? The party elected Mr. Tandon. We have to complete the sentence by using a complement, something, precedent, or captain, whatever mean. We selected Rabi, our captain, like this. So the party elected Mr. Tandon president. So here, this is object. You test it, you have the test, the clue. This is complement. You see, Mr. Tandon can be the grammatical subject of this sentence in a passive structure. Mr. Tandon was elected. Mr. Tandon was elected president by the party. Here is the passive structure of this, and Mr. Tandon is the subject here. But you cannot passive this one by using precedent. You cannot passivize it. That's why it is complement. This is complement. You try. This is complement. This is the clue, or this is the test to know which one is subject and which one is complement. This is object. This is object. This is object. So SVOC structure. Then we are going to have the last structure, which is in your book it is not given. In your class 9 book, this structure is avoided perhaps, but so this structure can be included. Subject, verb, object and verb. After the object, another verb is possible. Subject, verb, object and verb. That means here is the verb. This type of verb takes object and also a verbal structure. And you mind it, this verb is minus tense. That means no tense is there. It is infinite, non-finite. It is a non-finite verb which has no tense, because the tense lies in the main verb which appears in the first. For example, if you the headmaster allowed him to take the examination. Suppose student is a very notorious one, perhaps the headmaster was rude earlier, now he is soft, so he allowed him to take the examination. Suppose here you see the headmaster is of course the subject, allowed is the verb, this one is object of course, and here is a structure which is a verb, which is a non-finite verb. There is no tense here. Other examples are the superintendent let him go home. Superintendent is the subject, of course, let the verb, this is the object, go home, this is the another verbal structure, another verb which has no tense, non-finite tense. He was let by the superintendent. You can make the passivize because the object has the property to passivize it, but this is the verb. This is not complement, this is verb. Another example, the manager of a factory told the laborers, the manager told us to work overtime. This is like this, the first structure. This is equivalent to first structure. The manager is of course the subject. This is the verb as object, and this is a vowel. It's a verb. This is basic. In the end, another example. In the end, the machine got working. You see, the machine got working. At the end, we got the machine. Sorry. Sentence different. In the end, we got the machine. We got the machine working. Sorry. In the end, which is urgent at the beginning. This is urgent. We, the subject, got the verb. The machine is objects and working, which is a non-finite verb. This is a verb. Subject, verb, object, verb. Is not it? So this is the way we can look what the predicate phrase is. The predicate phrase structure has these elements. So they are basic elements: verb, complement, object. Is not it? But urgent is an optional item. It makes the sentence extendable to any parts for the sake of meaning. So this is the way to look at this structure, predicate phrase structure. In another name, in traditional this was called basic verb pattern. In the traditional grammar books, the name was given as basic verb pattern. So now it is called predicate phrase structure. But earlier it was named as basic. You see the basic verb pattern. Because why this is called pattern? Because they are arranged not in a haphazard manner. They are arranged in a particular way, in a pattern, in a structure. So that's why it is called basic verb pattern. Yes. If you want, you can ask questions to clarify your doubts. I think you have understood something from this lesson, because I welcome to ask questions, any kind of questions if you have, you can raise freely. Dear students, you can ask any questions if you have in your minds. So there is a question from Charpali. Charpali school, where it is? Yes. So a student from Charpali school wants to ask a question. Yes, you can raise the question, please. So I have told you the trickiest. That means there is a relationship between object and complement, which is not your scope. I think this is not the scope of a school student. It is beyond your scope, but I want to highlight it. This is beyond your scope. Suppose that means this is difficult actually. It is beyond the scope of a school student. Still, I want to say it. Suppose a student asks, this shirt suits him well. This shirt suits him well. If the question rises like this, what is this? This is object or complement. The shirt is also, of course, the subject. This is verb, no doubt. This is subject, this is verb. But the shirt suits him well. Is it an object or a complement? That is the trickiest question. So, this one is, of course, object. Because from the, you see, this is object. But this cannot be made passivization. Passive, you cannot make this passive. Another example is John married Jane. John married Jane. Here is, of course, we can know this. This one is object. You cannot call it complement. Here, you cannot be called this one as complement. But this cannot be passivized. In both the structure, passivization is not possible, but both are objects, which is a very exception. These are the exceptions. You can call it exceptional examples. These are exceptions. Exceptional cases. Thank you very much.